Good afternoon. My name is Eduardo Sanchez. I'm going to talk about my project that I'm working for the class and also working for my current work. So the project is going to be being driven by a Greenbelt project to be certified as Greenbelt in my company. And the name of the project is it's called kind of a see there Defense Space Supply Contracting Cycle Time Reduction. It's kind of long, but just I didn't want to put the NS as in as a name. But pretty much what it does, what the process is getting from a specific skill set required for engineering services in and a PO placement out to the supplier for the vendor so they can perform the work. I'm going to talk about more details now. So that's the process I'm going to focus. It's not manufacturing, it's services, but I think we can apply the same concept, the same principles. Let me just go there. So the name of the process itself is called AEWA process, which is Aerospace Engineering Work Authorization. We call it engineering services. That's what we do. It's kind of outsourcing engineering services when we don't have the resources, we don't have the bandwidth, or we need a specific skill set, like a niche skill set that we don't have. Instead of hiring someone for that, we can contract a vendor for 400, 500 hours, depending on the project. So I'm going to provide kind of a brief overview, high level, what the process is. So you get a request in from the engineering. Okay, we need to perform this type of task. We submit it to the system. Then it's reviewed by a focal. Then the focal has all the documentation that is required, quotes, any information that they would need to go to supplier so they can quote them properly and make sure they have enough resources to build it and if the price is right. So then it goes to a supplier. Here's my statement of work from the company. Then the supplier approves that yes, we can perform that at the set cost. It will go through the requisition and procurement process, getting a PO placement out. So in this process, as you're going to see later on, from submitting the request initially to getting the PO placement out, it's taking about 32 days on average for the data we have. But that's not good. So I'm going to talk about pretty much the problem statement. So that's pretty much the problem statement right now. We need to outsource services, engineering services, for a specific program, like in this case, it's defense and space programs. The current cycle time has been 32 days. We want it to be less than that because 32 working days is pretty much a month and a half just to get a supplier on board, and they're not even performing. And the main issue here is that on a typical defense DNS program, as we call it, each program lasts about 6 months to 1 year. So imagine having 32 days to get a person on board that just kind of push your schedule out of the way. You're not going to meet your customer delivery. Let me see what else. Okay, so and problem statement, we have errors from human errors, kind of not submitting the documentation properly, not submitting the request properly, and also we have systematic issues for this specific DNS programs because they are government funded, so they agreed upon a specific system. So we're gonna address kind of two type of things here: human error, and then we're gonna move to systematic issues. So objective, we need to take the current 32 days cycle time. We need to reduce it to a more kind of manageable way that is realistic to the type of programs that we do. So the end goal is to take it down to 15 days. Even if lower than that, it will be better. But as in now, we're gonna do it in two phases. Phase one is gonna be human error. Human error is gonna be getting our standardization on the process, documentation standardized, everything standardized to get us to remove any failures and first pass yield packages. That's gonna take us about we are estimated about 10, 12 days. And then the systematic change, which is how we procure the systematic procurement system, so about additional 8 days. So here's where we are right now. Last year we did 32 days average. Year to date we're 24. You see the direction there because this project has been going on. I started this project back in November. I think it was November, October. Last year was crazy. So it took us to 24 days. We need to be at 15 days this year, so we're gonna keep pushing that. And this 24 days is just the human error fix. So you're gonna see there, as you can see the second bullet here, it says first past due packages means that last year when the requester submitted something, the package, the tool in the tool, they can it got rejected around 38%, I would say, because it just was insufficient information. They added incorrect information. It's kind of many things that we had to capture. So this year today we're at 85, and that gap from the 95 that we need to be is what took us to 24 days. So the goal this year is to finish at 95. So we're gonna keep pushing for that. So as for failure modes that are driving this, we see in documentation kind of a source for justification, your business case, your statement of work. So all this information is what the requester has power and has an control over what to do and what not to do and how to complete it. So that's the main gap that we address on phase 1. I'm going to talk about phase 2 later on as the project develops. So here's the SciPoc. SciPoc, we use this to identify all this that we just talked. Okay, so we need to understand the input, outputs, and the entire process with requirements, and what the internal customer is, what's the external component customer, sorry for that, for each process is. So that's what I'm trying to do here with SciPoc, just to get that information in, so we kind of apply process map to understand what we know and what we don't know. Process map is kind of getting in more detail what each step is and who takes action, who doesn't take action, getting from the AWA request in, gets approval into the statement of work, kind of complete the work you want to outsource, then go out to the budget. You need too much, how much that's going to cost you, kind of estimated wise, and then go to complete your social justification, because why you need that specific skill set to be outsourced instead of insourced. And then you get your packaging review and get approval through the systematic approval, the kind of tool that we have. So lastly here, we have the methodology. This is how we're going to get there. So first we have the SciPoc, where I already showed you that, which helped us understand what the process and the requirements for each one, who's the customer for each one. So kind of give us an idea who touches at each point of the process. Then we have the failures. We capture some of the failures, like I show you, like a similar work, business case. So we're gonna help keep capturing those failure modes and the data as we go by. Then we have the FMAA, which is give us the main failures and which one has the biggest impact on the process. We're gonna create a control plan to control all those failures in the process, and make sure it keeps within the cycle time we want to be. And the business impact. In business impact, it's not going to be dollar-wise. It's going to be program execution. So here we see how we want to be. We're at 32 days. We're going to be with the human error. We're going to be at 20, and then with systematic change, it's going to be at 12. So this is the plan. How we're going to address this project from inception to fruition, to getting those 12 out. So right now we are close to completing phase 1, which is the human error. And then we're going to transition that then to phase 2, which is systematic issue error, which is getting the customer government involved and getting that change so they can improve the current system. Thank you.